covering recruiting and the transfer portal for the Razorbacks. This is Inside Arkansas Recruiting with Dudley Dawson.
Welcome into the Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast presented by GoatLab Brewery. I'm your host, Dudley Dawson, and on today's episode, we're going to preview National Signing Day, which is actually National Signing Day is December 3rd through 5th, but it gets started tomorrow. We'll have NILs coming in very early, 7 p.m. Central Time, or 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where some will come in, and then it'll get going. Arkansas is set to have 13 sign. They've got 13 commitments. I have been doing this for like 40 years, and it's never gone as planned once. There's always an addition or a subtraction, and it's always kind of an interesting day. As I said, it's spread out over 3 days now instead of being just one day in February. I think most of us are getting used to that now, but Arkansas's had an interesting week. They've gained 4 in-state commitments, 4 big in-state commitments, and at the same time 4 decommits or waivers. However you want to look at that. These guys were let known that Arkansas was moving in a different direction in terms of their recruitment, and so we wish those guys best of luck. A lot of them we've had here on the show, and certainly enjoyed talking to them and wish them well. As I said, Arkansas's got 13 commitments now. That is 57th overall in the college football team rankings, 15th in the SEC. That's in On3 and Rivals, 71st in 247, which is Arkansas's class ranked a little bit lower. Didn't give the Arkansas kids as much love as it seems like in that, but it's a decent class. Coach Silverfield came in and said he was going to make it the best class ever, and he certainly did a great job on Monday in getting things going. We'll see how it ends itself up, and of course, obviously this early signing period, which goes along with a junior college signing period, if you want to sign any junior college kids, is kind of a precursor to the January 2nd through 16 transfer portal situation, the signing date that Arkansas and the other NCAA schools will go through these days. You have football teams now that are made up of a certain amount of freshmen, a certain amount of veterans. It's going to be interesting, Coach Ryan Silverman, being from Memphis, to see how many of his players end up in the transfer portal that we're at Memphis and end up here at Arkansas. I'm sure there'll be some. That's usually the way it works itself out. And also, in terms of his commitments, there are, I think, 3 or 4 of the Memphis commits who have either reopened their recruitment or announced that they're not going to sign with Memphis. And so we'll see if there's some excitement in these next 3 days. There probably will be. Certainly, Coach Silverfield's done a really good job at getting the in-state kids, the 4 in-state kids that I talked about, all very good players, all top 6 players, at least in one of those rankings that I've talked about. And so they go into it with a little momentum. I want to kind of go over who they have committed. It's 7 on defense, 6 on offense heading into the signing period. The 3 defensive linemen. Big-time defensive lineman in Anthony Kennedy, the Little Rock Central standout defensive lineman, 6'6", 318 from Little Rock Central. Danny Bill, regarded as the number 1 player in the state from Cross County, 6'4", 300, and another outstanding defensive line. Both of those kids should be in the mix to play early next year, depending on what they would bring in with the transfer class and all that. And then Colton Yarborough has stayed solid with Arkansas, one of the very early commits, 6'6", 242-pound defensive end edge rusher from Durant, Oklahoma. As I said, one of the early ones and one of the best ones that Arkansas had. Also, Ja'Cory Smith, a linebacker from Bryant, is a young man, 6'1", 195. He's listed as a linebacker, could end up being a safety depending on how his body fills out as he gets older and gets stronger. But he was committed to Oklahoma for the longest time. They kind of parted ways, and he was one of the 4 on Monday that committed to Arkansas. One of 6 or 7 different Bryant kids that are going to sign on Wednesday. As I've said many times, the best programs in the state, you should have players. If you're the home state university, you should have players coming out of there. If you're going to make a mistake with winning programs. I think, and I think that all these young guys have shown that as they continue for, I think, going for their seventh or eighth state championship. Just an outstanding program that Quad Sanders has going down there, following up Buck James, his outstanding time he did down there. Also, there's three defensive backs. Tay Lockett, the young man from California who moved to Conway to play for Buck James and the Wampus Cats. Another kid that stayed in there, and no matter what happened with the coaching changes, he was committed to the school of Arkansas, the state of Arkansas. He is someone that has really talked about how he's really becoming an adopted Arkansan, really likes the state, and someone that's been able to do that. Kendrick Williams is a young man from Fayetteville High. He's a safety, 6'1", 195. Also somebody that stayed steadfast during the recruiting period. A young man that certainly have seen him play for a long time around here. He's got a great potential, had a very good year for Fayetteville High, and someone that, Arkansas is looking forward to signing. And then there's Jalen Copeland, cornerback from Valdosta, Georgia. He's the third defensive back that they've got. And those are, as I said, the 7 defensive guys that they are signing tomorrow, or at least going into the day they have listed as commits and signings. So we'll see if they add to those. I do not think anybody on this list is going to jump anywhere, although we've seen a lot of that in these past couple of days as the coaching carousel and changes have been all over the place. Find it interesting that some LSU commits are committing to Ole Miss now, and kind of a funny thing since Lane Kiffin has gone down there. On offense, another bright young man, TJ Hodges is a running back, 6'1", 180, great speed, played at Mark Tree before he went to Bryant. Is someone that was earlier committed to Missouri, one of the 4 that on Monday decided that he wanted to be an Arkansas player. And, that's a lot of those guys mentioned that was their dream school going up, or they either really had a lot of affinity for Arkansas, just wanted to be recruited a little bit harder. Ryan Silverfield came in and made calls on Sunday and Monday and got these flips and then committed. So obviously it's going to be good for Arkansas to have them. And 2 other Arkansas players are the wide receivers that are in the class right now. Blair Irvin, 3, or Trey as they call him, from Bentonville, 6'1", 180. Has had an outstanding season, as has Daquan Parvo, another Bentonville young man who they'll be taking. He's 5'10", 170, moved in from Texas for this season and committed to Arkansas soon after that. Those are the 2 wide receivers in the class. Both of them will be trying to lead their team against Bryant for the Class 7A state championship this weekend down in Little Rock, where there's 4 championship games. The offensive linemen, you've got 3. Tucker Young, an offensive lineman from Hot Springs Lakeside, 6'5", 300. He had him on the show here and really enjoyed talking to him. A young man with a lot of personality, a lot of athletic ability, and a lot of size. Those are all good things you like to have. Hugh Smith is a young man from Missouri City, Ridge Point, Texas. Another offensive lineman, 6'5", 300. All these offensive linemen are about the same size. And the third offensive lineman that's included in this mix that you head into signing day as commitments is Ben Mubinga, from an offensive lineman from Buford, Georgia, 6'5", 290. Is another guy that he was committed to Arkansas, decommitted, looked around and decided even before the coaching change that you knew Ryan Silverfield was coming in, that he wanted to recommit to Arkansas, and did that. A big get for them, somebody that they think can be an outstanding player here is in all these offensive linemen, the offensive and defensive linemen, 6 of these guys in this class, all very good players. And, what happens when when you get some new recruits, and as I said, these are from Arkansas, you lose some. They did lose 4, or as I said, probably advise them to move on to different situations. Ashley Walker was another offensive lineman that had been committed to Arkansas for a long time. Ashton Dawson, who really enjoyed having here on the show, the 6'3", 280-pound fullback, who also can play tight end and on the defensive line, from Shreveport Evangel. he made it clear when I talked with him earlier that if Arkansas was still going to use a fullback, as Bobby Petrino had planned to do if he got the job, then he would still be coming here. But obviously, they had discussions, and he's looking for a better situation. Outstanding young man. Look forward to watching him play somewhere. Kelby Foster is a defensive back that also was committed to Arkansas for the longest time. He's moving on to a different situation. And Ari Slocum, another young man from Louisiana that we had on the show, outstanding guy who committed, decommitted, then recommitted, and now is in a situation where he's looking around. And I saw that he had a few offers from other places today. So he's in a good situation, to be able to get, his to play in college. And I think he's going to be a star somewhere, just not here in Arkansas. To shout out our sponsor, GoatLab Brewery, in both locations in both Fayetteville and Lowell. They've had a great year so far. Started the one in Fayetteville, the GoatLab Red, the second one, started in September along with the football season, and I've had a great time being kind of the hangout for Razorback fans that are real close to the university. 1214 North Garland is their location. They're just down from the university. A lot of great craft beers, a lot of great food, that wide variety on their menu that they've had, and they've done a lot of watch parties. I'm sure they're planning on having another one on Wednesday night when Arkansas plays Louisville, a top 25 basketball matchup, with Arkansas being 25th, Louisville being 6th. A team that has really improved its fortunes in the last couple of years after being one of the worst teams in the country. Should be a good matchup. And as we said during the football season, you can go before, during, or after and partake of the food and beer and other beverages that they have there at GoatLab Red, and also at the GoatLab Original in Lowell, where it continues to have great success as well. It's located right next to another one of their businesses, the Grove Comedy Club, which has had a lot of great comedians, including Nikki Glazer, who's had a lot of popularity. He was on Saturday Night Live not too long ago, hosted the Golden Globes. I think almost 10 different cast members of Saturday Night Live have been there, as well as a lot of great people as well, like Rodney Carrington and others who have been doing it for a long time, Dusty Slay and many others like that. But get yourself out to the GoatLab breweries, and they're in Fayetteville. We're at 1214 North Garland, as well as in Lowell, the original location. Can't thank them enough for helping to sponsor us and putting us in a situation to get all this information out to you. I do suspect we'll see a lot of most of the signees that Arkansas will have signed today, even though it is a 3-day period. You're certainly going to have probably others coming in on Friday or Thursday and Friday, as different coaches and different programs have done different things. I know that one of the more interesting things to watch today is the new coaches were getting into their situations and talking to recruits. It is a dead period, but they were able to talk to him via phone, and you had several flips, including a young man who, it's a different time when the number one pocket passer in America flipped from Georgia to Vanderbilt during this time, and in a shock, the young man is from near Nashville, Tennessee, and obviously Clark Lee has done a great job with their program over there and turning that around. Diego Pava, one of their quarterback right now, one of the contenders for the Heisman Trophy. In fact, in a lot of the odds I'm seeing lately, he has taken the lead with what he's done this season, his leadership. I have a vote, and I'll be doing that in the next week or so and deciding who I want to put down as my top 3. But he certainly is somebody that needs to be considered. Quarterbacks get a lot of love. Jacob Rodriguez, the young man from Texas Tech, the linebacker, has done a lot of things. He's an interesting quarterback to take a look at there. And also Jeremiah Love, who arguably is the best running back Arkansas saw this year, is someone that has really had a great season, has put himself in the Heisman Trophy contention. Maybe dropped out a little bit when Notre Dame lost those first 2 games, but they've come back really strong, and he's back in position to be one of the guys invited to New York. I had the opportunity one time to go up there for the ceremony, and very impressed with what all they have going there. It's a long history and tradition that the downtown Rotary Club has there in New York. Looking forward to seeing who follows up Travis Hunter, last year's winner. Again, we're going to be here all day. The recruits are going to be signing their papers. We'll be coming on with live updates as these guys, the ones that we expect to sign, and if anybody doesn't sign, or also if we have flips from different places. As I said, I think there'll be a few with Memphis, some Memphis players, Memphis recruits probably being part of this mix. As we say with our football recruiting coverage, we also have great football coverage from John and the guys, and baseball coverage with Andrew Ellis, and obviously Curtis does a great job with basketball, and we have a lot of immediacy with that. We'll have that today as the recruiting period goes along, and different things are signed. But be sure and make sure you get signed up and subscribed to YouTube to get our content, and also you can find us where you get your audio content. We have those versions as well. Looking forward to a busy 3 days, a busy December, and a busy January as recruiting in the transfer portal comes along. And remember, as we always say, as we're signing out, remember, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. Let's go out and make the world a better place by doing something good.